Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. As you know, my name is Andrea and I help fix your English. Today we're going to be looking at the passive voice. What is that passive voice that everyone keeps talking about? It's the difference between somebody stole my car versus my car was stolen. Or people speak English worldwide versus English is spoken worldwide. So if you're someone that doesn't really understand when to use the passive voice or how to use the passive voice, please don't worry. Today, we're going to go through it together and you'll be able to understand exactly when and how to use it. So if you're ready, let's begin. The passive voice is formed when we focus on the action and not the person doing it. Maybe you haven't studied English grammar for a long time, so let's quickly look at a basic sentence. A basic sentence has what's called a subject in English, which is the person that does something, and then the action or the predicate or the verb. They're all different words for basically the same thing. So the subject is the person that does something, and then there's the action. In a normal sentence, we have the subject first, and then we have the action. But in the passive voice, this is reversed. The focus is on the action and not the person that did it. Let me give you an example. The active sentence would be, the chef cooked the meal. The passive would be, the meal was cooked by the chef. So in the passive voice, the object now becomes the subject of the sentence. Okay, so now that we understand the basics, we're going to be looking at when we use it with different tenses. This is going to be very comprehensive. Let's take it step by step. Let's look at the present simple first of all. In the active voice, it would be, they make cars. In the passive voice, it would be, cars are made. Let's look at the structure. It is the subject, then the form of to be that's used, then the past participle, and then optionally we can put a by and then some kind of agent. Don't worry if that was a little complicated, you'll understand as we go through. The past simple in the active voice would be, they built the house. But look, we have the subject, then the form of to be, then the past participle, then the optional by. So the house was, which is the form of to be, built. That's the past participle. Future simple. They will finish the project. Again, look at the structure. We have the project will be finished. Is this making more sense to you? So, we change from the active to the passive, which means that we focus on the object of the active sentence instead of the subject. It's reversed. And as we reverse it, we also change the tenses. We go subject, form of to be, and then the past participle. Okay. Present continuous. They are painting the walls. Can you guess? They are painting the walls. Okay, we want to focus not on them, but on the walls. The walls, and then we need the verb to be, are being, and then painted. Past continuous. They were cleaning the office. Again, what are we focusing on? We want it to be passive, so we're focusing on the object. The office was being cleaned. Present perfect. They have repaired the road. The road has been repaired in the passive. Past perfect. They had completed the work. The work had been completed. Future perfect. They will have delivered the package. Passive. The package will have been delivered. Modal verbs. They must sign the form. The form must be signed. Okay, so I think you understand it a little better now. Remember, the active voice is when we focus on a normal sentence where the subject, the person normally, does something. But in the passive voice, the object becomes the subject, and we focus more on the object than the subject. So when do we use the passive voice? We use the passive voice when the doer, the person that's doing it, is either unknown, obvious, or unimportant. A new hospital was built last year. We don't know and we don't care who built it. The most important thing is the hospital. The thief was arrested. It's obvious that the police arrested them, so we don't need to say it. We also use it when the focus is on the action rather than the doer. English is spoken in many countries. The focus here is on English being spoken, not the actual countries that speak it. The Mona Lisa was painted in the 16th century. The fact that it was painted in the 16th century is more important than the painter. We use it a lot in formal and scientific writing. The experiment was conducted in a controlled environment. A decision has been made regarding the policy. We also use it when we don't want to blame anyone specific. A mistake was made. This is instead of, you made a mistake was made. Your application has been rejected. Sounds nicer than, we rejected your application. So, again, how do we change the active to the passive? First, they clean the house every week. The passive would be, the house is cleaned every week. You must complete the form. The form must be completed. She wrote the report. The report was written by her, if it's important. The by her is optional. It doesn't add any important information. If it doesn't add any important information, you can leave it out. Now let's look at the passive voice with different tenses. Present simple passive. The active. They sell houses. Passive. Houses are sold. Active. People speak Spanish in Mexico. Passive. Spanish is spoken in Mexico. And we can put by people if we wanted. Past simple passive. Active. They built the bridge in 1995. Passive. The bridge was built in 1995. Active. Someone stole my car. Passive. My car was stolen. Future simple passive. Active. They will complete the project next month. Passive. The project will be completed next month. Active. They will announce the results tomorrow. Passive. The results will be announced tomorrow. Are you understanding this? So, we don't focus on the subject, we focus on the object and we make that the subject. Then we use the grammatical structure, which is the subject, which used to be the object, form of to be, then the past participle, and if we want to explain who did it, we use by someone. Okay? Let's continue. Present perfect passive. They have cancelled the meeting. Passive. The meeting has been cancelled. Active. Scientists have discovered a new planet. A new planet has been discovered. Modal verbs in the passive voice. You must follow the rules. The rules must be followed. They can fix the car. The car can be fixed. You should wash the dishes. The dishes should be washed. Let's look at some common mistakes now. One mistake is forgetting to use the verb to be. The project finished yesterday. No, it should be the project was finished yesterday. The second mistake is using the wrong past participle. The cake was make by John. No, the cake was made by John. And the third mistake is overusing the by at the end. So, for example, the book was written by J.K. Rowling by her. No, the book was written by J.K. Rowling. So, let's do a quick recap now. When do we use the passive voice? Okay. The first is when the focus is on the action. For For example, Shakespeare wrote Hamlet would be the active voice. And then we have Hamlet was written by Shakespeare in the passive voice. Instead of focusing on Shakespeare, who is the author, we're focusing on the play, Hamlet. When the doer is unknown. Someone stole my phone. My phone was stolen. Informal writing. They decided to change the law. A law change was decided. And when we avoid responsibility, somebody made a mistake. A mistake was made. You'll probably hear that a lot with politicians. Listen out for it next time you're watching the news. So, well done! You've mastered the passive voice. I'm going to give you a little quiz now. Rewrite these sentences in the passive voice in the comments section. Are you ready? The first is, they serve breakfast at 8 a.m. What would that be? Someone left the door open. They will announce the winner tomorrow. If you've enjoyed my lesson, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And remember, if you would like personal one-to-one lessons with me, contact me and I will give you all the information that you need. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!